Hey guys, today is day 28 of my 29-day challenge. I really appreciate you if you're watching this. Today's day is called Going to Hollywood. So today is special because I also sent out an email, my introductory email, to my first 5 free coaching clients. And I'm starting that business. I put myself out there. I got 5 clients that are wanting to sign up. I sent them out an email. I'm gonna get this going. So today's a big day for me. David Nurse begins today by asking whether we ever feel like every potential opportunity goes to somebody else. What happens when you feel like you've been doing everything right for so long, but you're still not where you want to be? Bismack Biyambo is an NBA All-Star that comes from a small village in the Congo named Lubumbabshi, where he walked 45 minutes to get to school with no shoes on. And then when he got to school, he had to ask friends to bites of their lunch because his parents didn't have money to feed him. David and this guy Bismack become friends while they're working together. And Bismack wore David out. Like, he would work out in the morning and again in the evening, twice a day. And David, even David was like, yo, this is a lot. So after a couple of months, he asks him, hey, Bismack, why are you working so hard? You got your contract. You're making $18 million for 3 years. You're good. You're going to be good. You don't have to keep going. And he's like, Bismack tells him, look, basketball was my ticket out of the Congo, me and my family. He's like, no one comes to the Congo to scout players. So one day he borrowed shoes from his friend and it's I guess snuck out. I guess he's not allowed to leave the Congo. I don't know how it works, but snuck out and went to go play in Qatar. And he gets detained, arrested, and thrown in jail for trying to leave. So when he gets out of jail, he keeps playing. And about a year later, he gets spotted by a team from Yemen. And they're like, yo, come play with us in Jordan. So this time he's got his papers. I guess maybe that's what it was. He left without a visa. But he went this time to Jordan and he impressed everybody. There was a scout there that took him to play on a junior team in Spain. He ends up getting selected to play on the world team in the Nike Hoop Summit. And he's the first player ever to get a triple-double, which is like over 10 points and over 10, and I think it's points, assists, and rebounds. So he's the 7th overall draft pick and gets signed to the Charlotte Hornets, and he's made over $100 million now in his career. So he didn't work his ass off for nothing. After hearing his story, David gained a better appreciation for dragging himself out of bed each morning. He switches gears and tells us about his wife. Taylor is a talented actress, his wife Taylor Kalupa. She's a budding star in the industry. And when she doesn't get a part, she doesn't allow the rejection to get to her, to crush her. She's learned that every role she prepares for, whether she gets it or not, is preparation for the bigger opportunity to come. After failing to get a TV show launched for 4 years in a row, her preparation came down to her big break. And if she continued to sulk, if she sulked, she didn't continue. If she didn't, but if she did sulk, she wouldn't be ready for the opportunity when it came, he explains. So the show, The Fix, was picked up and aired internationally and nationally, and even had a promotion during the Super Bowl. Now, she had to stay positive throughout her rejections to make sure that when it came time for that big audition that she got, she had to be ready for it. So she's living proof that everything we do daily is preparation for an opportunity to come. All of the lost is not lost. Opportunities, they're not lost at all. They're blocks building us up for our true opportunity. He explains that if we believe everything we do is preparing for opportunity, then the fruits of our labor will flourish and blossom. They will not have been done for nothing. So just be patient and keep working hard. Good advice. I love it. Blueprint action plan for today. So he's got a picture of a clock. Let me show you. Got a picture of a clock. And it's broken down by quarters. And so he says in the center of the clock, you're going to fill in an opportunity that you'd love to have tomorrow. Something huge, something big. And imagine that you only had 24 hours to prepare for it. So at each quarter, write down one step that you would do to get ready. So he says, for example, imagine he got to share his message to a sold out stadium. He got the call. He only has 24 hours. The first quarter, he would listen to motivational speakers who inspire him. For the second quarter, he'd reach out to everyone to invite them along. He'd spend the third quarter reworking his speech to make it just right. And fourth quarter, he would practice in front of the mirror and to anyone else who would listen. So then he says, look at your clock again. And now you've got a year, which is more manageable. And each of the things you've written down in each quarter, you should focus over the next 3 months. So I guess he means 3 quarters for 3 months for each thing that's in each quarter. That's what I'm thinking, because you got a year. So I wrote down in the middle that I'd love to be, if it was tomorrow, on his podcast. So David, you invited me. You told me when as I've been sending you the links to these videos, and you've been rooting for me and telling me, keep going and you can do this, and how psyched you are. You mentioned me being on the podcast. I would love it, man. Please let me know. I already told you. Just give me the date and I'll come. If it's tomorrow, I'll come tomorrow. So what would I do if I only had 24 hours? First quarter, I would watch as many of your podcasts as I could, so I could see kind of the structure and how you do it, and so I could be well prepared for them. Number 2 is second quarter, I would prepare my answers, my speech, make sure that kind of anticipate what you would ask me and make sure that I'm ready. Number 3 is I would review this book that I'm doing, and I'm typing it all up, making an outline. So I would review all that and act like I'm going to take a test, and I would make sure that I know every single day the answers. I'd have my outline with me. I wouldn't touch it unless I had to go in there, but I would really know this book inside out. This way I'm ready for an interview, and I could specifically call out things that you talked about and how they resonated, or the challenges that I did, which one stood out to me. And you'll ask me questions like which one, resonated the most, which one was the hardest, which one was the easiest, which one do you agree with or not agree with. And if you ask me questions like that, I would know each one inside out. So that's being prepared. And my last quarter, I would literally do nothing. I would relax, because I got this. I did the process. I did the first 3 quarters. I did the work. Now I'm ready to go in. So I would relax, make sure that my anxiety is low. I'm not under any pressure. And I would just kind of maybe play it out in my head, manifest, this is going to be good, and see how it's going to happen and how well it's going to go, and kind of feel that goodness, feel, how the greatness of how nice it would feel to be on a podcast, getting my message out, getting some sort of gaining credibility to what I'm doing, so I would just appreciate that even before we get on the air, and I would just really internalize it, and so then when I go in with gratitude. I go in, top of my game, because I've already experienced the happiness that's gonna come from it, and that's the secret. So thank you guys. Tomorrow's the last day.